Hey everyone. I just want to come on here and talk a little bit about my project Bodhisattva, and I call it that for good reason, um, because it is a music project, and it is definitely because I love music and it's fun and all of that stuff. But there's also a deeper reason and deeper purpose behind it, and even my album, which, yes, it is on sale for $20. No, but for real, there's a deeper message and uh, about between two worlds. Essentially, that's the name of the album, um, and it comes from a pretty profound life experience that I've had. And the reason that I'm sharing this right now is because we're living in a very crazy time of awakening. Um, and I mean that in a very grounded sense. Not in like some woo-woo, I mean, even woo-woo is okay, but some out there thing, but in a very grounded way, humanity is relearning. And one of the many things that we are relearning, at least here in the West, and I'm from LA, was born and raised in a certain paradigm of belief structure. It was my upbringing, so that's kind of why I discuss between two worlds. Because it's very strange for me, actually. But what I've learned is very different than what I was brought up with, or maybe it's just my own illusions of what I thought life was, thinking in a completely different paradigm of reality, thinking that I'm this material person and that's all there is, and that wasn't just my belief growing up and for a long time, and how drastically that has changed through my profound life experiences that I discuss. And it's not just for egoic or self-aggrandizing purposes. When I talk about, I talk about my Kundalini story and everything. No, it's not just it's not just something, I'm not just trying to brag about it. it's not like an attainment that an ego gets. It's actually a profound spirituality is not about talking about fun experiences. If that's what I wanted, I would just go to an amusement park or something. It's about understanding the nature of reality and how we've been, I don't want to say lied to. It sounds like there's ill intention, and I don't want to project that onto anyone, even any kind of system or anything external. But there are many things that are not discussed and shared openly and honestly that need to be. And one of those things is around how humans heal and the nature of our Western medicine versus Eastern medicine and all these different splits that we have. A conversation kind of came up recently around healing, and it's like so interesting that, and I found this in my own experience too, these sort of mystery symptoms or mystery illnesses, things that people go to doctors over and over and over again and nobody has the solution, and of course that leads them to questioning and wondering what's going on, and it usually leads to illumination of some kind. Usually that's kind of how it works. Our suffering and our challenges lead us to discovery and illumination. It's kind of part of the game. for me, I can take this in so many ways. Music is a big part of my journey personally, because my own frustrations has led me to my own questioning and my own awakening. And one of the things I've realized is that we kind of love to get in our own ways sometimes, don't we? But really what we want is to get out of our own way. That's the true discovery of who we really are. And music is a perfect gateway for that. Because to be an improviser, it's not about doing something or making something happen, or forcing or controlling a situation. It's really about getting out of our own way and allowing a deeper intelligence to speak through us or for us. And I'm sure any of my great improviser friends that I always cherish and look up to have that experience and understand experientially that mystery of how did that happen. That came through me naturally. I didn't know I had that in me. That sort of magic or musical synchronicities, those kinds of things that kind of make us wonder, like, what's really all of this about? Like, if I'm just this person and we're just this material existence for no reason, it's like, how does this really happen? How do certain things actually happen? So, yeah, that experience of getting out of our own way, it's very similar to how humans are actually meant to heal, naturally. Because when we get out of our own way, on that realm, on that front, the intelligence of the body, the body, mind, spirit system, is really designed so intelligently, incredibly, actually, geniusly, like beyond, that it's meant to continually repair and heal on its own. But now the issue is, these days, in our waking up society, sort of unconscious but becoming more conscious society, there are chronic issues that happen to people that ideally would not happen. Of course, if they are, there's reason for it. No judgment. But ideally, our bodies would continually be repairing themselves, especially when we go to sleep at night. And so, this is kind of part of what had come up in conversation. Somebody was having a loved one of theirs was having a major chronic issue. And the thing is, Western medicine these days, where we're at currently, is very helpful for many things, but it's not helpful for everything. And one of those things is in the realm of chronic conditions, and when traumas happen to a human system, there is a perceived threat, and when that happens, the autonomic nervous system goes into fight or flight. And if it gets stuck there, then it doesn't go into the rest and digest mode that it needs to repair and heal itself to the same degree that it would if it felt safe and calm and comfortable. That's why nervous system healing is such a huge, important topic. Because that is basically what causes many of our issues, from chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, gut issues, even deeper things like cancers in the long run. And yeah, so it's like the Western medicine system takes care of the symptoms, takes care of basically the weeds, but doesn't actually get at the roots, which is at the nervous system and energetic level, which is also emotional. Because when the nervous system doesn't feel safe to express emotions can get trapped. And they can get trapped in different areas of the body, and that can stop the healthy functioning of the system. And many different things can happen. In fact, when there is dissociation or soul loss due to trauma, that can open up a person's energetic field to external influences as well, of different kinds. Energetic, emotional. There's all kinds of different things that can happen that stop a person's energy flow from their, let's say, perfect or divine connection to source, to reality. And that's when things start to go awry. So when symptoms arise, to me, it's kind of like the 10 plagues. It's like the first one comes up, and it's like, okay, this is a small symptom, right? But then, if that doesn't get addressed, it goes to the next one, which is a little bit more intense. So it's like the system is speaking to us. The body is talking. The symptoms we judge as bad are really pieces of awakening, and when we don't listen, it gets louder for a good reason. Imagine like a small child being like, I don't feel good, Mom, please help, and then, if they don't listen, it's going to get louder, right? I mean, it should, because it's not addressing an imbalance or something that's necessary to be looked at. It's like if you put your hand in the fire and you feel pain, the pain is there so you don't burn yourself and hurt yourself. It's not an inherently bad thing in that way. But we don't see that here, and we don't always see that in our medical systems. We tend to see the symptoms as purely bad. Let's get rid of them, or this cancer is bad. Let's remove a part of the body, or let's bomb it with chemo. And the issue with that is that it doesn't actually resolve the reason that happens in the first place, at the root cause. And I saw this happen with my own dad. So part of my own story, because it's universal and for the collective, but it's also become personal to me, and that's one element. Another is that on my own personal healing journey, well, this is a whole other story with when I share my Kundalini story. It's rather important because same story, the system essentially failed me. Put it that way. And instead of healing what was meant to be healed for me the first time around, it ended up just growing and getting louder and louder and louder, like the 10 plagues, until I had my next awakening, which led me to actually heal at the root cause of what I was experiencing. And for me, it was so much all at once. All my subconscious blocks, and that's what happened when I'm talking about when I talk about my awakening in 2017. All my subconscious blocks and deeply held fears and neuroses and judgments and pain from the past, all coming up at once in a really massive amount of, think like Pandora's box, massive amounts of energy and emotion to deal with and work through. So I went through a very, very, very crazy time, like for real. Like it was like next level, if I didn't have the awareness that there was a spiritual process happening that was deeper than some material thing, and the reason is because I had months of spiritual kind of training grounds, I would say, like experiences that led up to this awakening. If it wasn't for that, I would have probably resorted to the psychiatric system, which is what I did the first time around when I was 16, in 2005. So this is kind of a big part of my own personal story that I'm sharing. And that's what led me to the system that failed me the first time. Was going to the psychiatric system and essentially taking the blue pills, what I like to say. It's not a good or bad thing or a judgment there, it's just it was a shutting down of a natural healing process that the symptoms were judged as, oh, he's going crazy, oh, this is psychosis, this is that, he needs medication. For me, it was a diagnosis of bipolar disorder, which is not an accurate diagnosis in that way. I'm not saying that bipolar is not it's actually a decent terminology. It's not all wrong. I'm not saying it's all wrong or bad or anything, but I am saying that my symptoms were misperceived as something bad, something that we need to essentially suppress and stop from happening, rather than to curiously, lovingly explore and understand and heal and work through, which is what ended up happening the second time around. The second time around, in 2017, it brought me to, well, I'll be perfectly honest. It's okay. It brought me to go pretty crazy. I sort of knew I was going crazy. So it wasn't like, I ended up on the street or anything. But it did lead me to some kind of wandering and being like, okay, what's going on? Like, I know that reality is, the world seems to be going on normally. Here I am having this very, very crazy experience with all these energies around and all experiencing all this stuff. But it led me to, well, many things. But it did lead me to some Eastern healing modalities. For one, so here's one story that I'll share. I was living in Sherman Oaks at the time, and really going through some just crazy things I didn't even know what to do. So I was wandering and kind of walking up and down the street on Ventura Boulevard, and I came across an acupuncture clinic. And so I just stopped in. I was like, please help. I can see he has a yin yang on the sign. I know this is, going to be a safe place. Obviously, something's happening. It's not like, oh my God, this should not be happening. No, it's like something's happening. I'm simultaneously conscious and going through it. So I ended up discovering someone who greatly, greatly grounded me and helped me. And even though part of me was freaking out quite a lot, because the process was so intense coming out of my belief structure, my belief system growing up, it was completely unfamiliar, completely brand new. Just like a snake in the middle of my hike. I thought it was a snake, but it's actually a rope. It was not as scary as I thought it was. But so this acupuncturist in Sherman Oaks started to guide me and started to kind of ground me and make me realize, okay, I'm actually safe. I'm actually okay. Whatever's happening is a function of the nervous system kind of on haywire, going haywire. And so I started to do acupuncture, which started to ground my energy. Instead of being all over the place and up here in my head and spinning around, I started to come into my body and feel more safe and able to function and able to kind of exist normally. I just put normally in quotes there. So that was one piece. Got me started on a new healing path. Another was working with Ayurveda. Because that also gave me a chance to explore my mind and to realize many of the things that I was experiencing as mirrors to my own internal subconscious beliefs. And it got me to introspect and explore on my own shadow, my own fears and tendencies. Another aspect of that is it also helped me get into my own body with some of the treatments that they did. And so, for instance, an Abhyanga and Shirodhara, those were very powerful for me. Along with herbs and changing my diet. Instead of eating all the stuff out there, I started to cook for myself, and I started to clean up everything that was going on within. And it started to put my nervous system back into a healthy, regulated, sympathetic state where I could start to heal naturally. And so essentially, I went through just insane chaos. And gradually, over a period of months, started to come back to reality, which is, I'm safe in this moment. I'm okay. Things are okay. And gradually it got better and better and better and better and better. And many aspects of this, but I started to have many spiritual downloads. Not downloads, I don't even want to say that. But more like insights and understandings as to the nature of what had happened. And how and why and so many things from there. My point here that I'm inspired to make is that I've learned quite a lot at this point, to the point where I'm starting to share this with people, and my project Bodhisattva is, while I'm still learning quite a lot myself, I'm also sharing these insights for people in a world where we're all seeking answers and deeper healing for whatever it is that we're going through, because current systems are not completely on board with our well-being and our health. It may serve certain forces to keep people in a cycle of unwanted pain and suffering, as opposed to recognizing and waking up to who we truly are and expressing our true selves. There's multiple forces at play in this experience we're having. And so my purpose there in sharing this is to share my story and to help to guide those people that are seeking in whatever way that I can, and I think through my music and stories, and a lot of my tunes here have stories connected to them. So that's kind of why I'm so interested in sharing. Hey Elijah, how's it going? I was just actually finishing up here just a share about my own journey through my own personal healing journey and music journey and awakening, a whole bunch of different things. Good morning. I know it's actually late for me. I know it's technically it's early, but I just had a gig and got back late and all that, so it's late for me. So I'm gonna probably hop off here and just kind of wrapping up what I was sharing. But yeah, so my project Bodhisattva, what I was gonna say is geared towards, of course, the music and the album and all the fun things, and it's also for this connection that we're all seeking deeper with ourselves and as a collective, and to really learn for those who are interested in the reality of things, all the deep questions. There's got to be answers, right? Of course. That's what brought me to my questioning and my awakenings and my learnings personally, and my illuminations. That, yeah, if there's a question, chances are there's probably an answer. Just seems to be a natural intelligence there. And yeah, the body and mind, that's kind of what I was sharing, was about how the body and mind has such an innate intelligence as well. And that's why it's meant to operate and heal and repair itself. And the idea is that when we get out of our own way, that healing can take place. Just like when we're creating music or art or anything, it's really about getting out of our own way, out of our own minds, out of our own stuff, and letting something deeper, a deeper intelligence flow through us. So, yeah. a lot of different healing modalities that I've tried and that I've worked on and worked with, and that was kind of what brought me to this video, was the conversation I was having with somebody about this holistic healing. They were going through something with a loved one, and I've done so many modalities at this point. I started with acupuncture and Ayurveda, body talk, all kinds of different energy modalities. Reiki, of course, that's a pretty common one. I've done shamanic work, network spinal, what's it called? There was a one that I did for quite a while in 2021. Really powerful one. I can't remember the name of it now. Four letters. Anyway, so many different things. I've done a lot of my own work as well. Of course, yoga, but also shadow work, and my own meditations. Just tons of introspection, tons of music work, energy, so many things that have helped, but also healed at, I would say, the root cause of things. So yeah, answers are out there, and we're always learning, discovering more. And I'm 8 years on to this path, a little over 8 years now, almost 8.5. But it's still almost brand new. It feels like I have endless amounts to explore and learn and continue to evolve and grow through it. It's the more you know, the more you realize how little we really know, for real. So I'm just sharing all that, and probably rambled on for quite a bit. So I'm gonna hop off and reach out. For anyone who's watching this later, reach out. I'm always open for talks and to share resources and knowledge or anything of that nature. And of course music too. So buy my album. Between Two Worlds is out now in physical copy, and it's on Bandcamp as well for $11.11. My favorite number. That's also actually a part of my story too, is how 1111 came to be my favorite number. Anyway, more next time. Sending you guys all so much love, and have a great one. Yes, music is definitely everything, and a huge gift for us all. One of my favorite elements of life. Maybe perhaps my favorite, actually. Yeah. So sending lots of love to everyone, and I'm gonna hop off here and say goodnight. Okay, peace. Have a good one.